Welcome to the Chamber of Members podcast. Today's special guest is Celeste Brown with Defining Enterprises. We'll get to hear her story of success in the automated retail and advertising scene. Then we'll get into some business tips of the week and some chamber announcements. First, a quick shout out to Always Be Fair Roofing for sponsoring this week's episode. If you're looking for an honest company to handle your roofing needs, reach out to our friends at Always Be Fair Roofing. Their number is 330-818-0203. They service Summit, Stark, Tuscarawas, and Wayne counties. Celeste, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you on. I know you have a unique business model, so I was kind of interested when we met at Tip Club a couple months ago, and glad you're willing to come on and share a little bit about that with us. From what I understand, you're kind of in the automated retail. It's kind of one of your revenue generation streams, and the other one is being advertising. How'd you find that unique machine that does automated retail and advertising?
Well, it's interesting. We say Defining Essentials automated retail machines are not your average vending machine. They're the premier machine in the vending industry with digital advertising space. So when we were thinking about this concept, we knew that we needed something different, not your standard vending machine. When you think of standard vending machines, you think of snacks, pops, and chips, and candies. And in automated retail machines, you pretty much can sell anything else. So in our machines, we sell travel size items, we have beauty products, we have things for children, we have a whole variety of items, electronics, just a whole variety of products. So we knew that we needed a machine that would do all of those, have all those capabilities. And then the advertising space was kind of like a bonus space, if you will. So we just did a lot of research to find machines, and they're not readily available. It's not something that you can go to your Sam's Club and buy or even find online for the most part. So we did some research, was able to come up with a vendor who had this type of machine out of California.
Nice.
So where are your machines currently located?
Currently, I have two machines located within the Akron-Canton Airport. We have one pre-security side and one post-security side. So really, we capture the traffic in and out of the airport. So everybody coming into the airport kind of sees the machines on the post-security side. So when you go through TSA and they may have thrown away your lotions and that sort of thing, can pick up your lotions and that sort of thing on that side of the airport. And then we get the traffic on the arrivals into the city on the pre-security side, because they're coming past the machines as they're exiting the planes, going to baggage claims and that sort of thing. So our product mix kind of varies based on the location of the machines.
Okay.
So for instance, we have a lot of hygiene products and that sort of thing. If you forgot your deodorant, you think about it once you're waiting for your plane, you can pick that up. But on the reverse side, getting into the airport, like if it's raining outside, so like we have an umbrella in the machines on this side. So the product mix is a little bit different.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I'm glad my advertisement's actually on the post side there. And I saw the video of it. It looks great. It's awesome.
So I know I'm sure the goal is to get into high traffic areas. What types of places do you think you're going to stay? Is it just airports, or are you looking for other locations that would be a good fit for that type of machine?
So, our machines are something that does well in high traffic areas. We obviously want to get into some additional airports, and I learned that you had to have additional certifications for that. So I just received my AC DBE certification to get into like all the airports within the state of Ohio. So I'm really excited about that. In addition, I'm looking to get into, just like I said, other high traffic. So I'm having my fingers crossed that I can have some conversation with like the Hall of Fame, because they're building this whole village, right? And new high-end hotels and water park and that sort of thing. And they're expecting a lot more traffic to come to the area for that reason. So somewhere like the Hall of Fame would be an excellent option. And then colleges and universities. When you think of students living on campuses, our machines are defining essentials. So essentially, we can equip them with items that the student would need on campus.
Yeah, it's nice to have flexibility to put in kind of what your demographics needs. And
Absolutely.
I think you kind of answered this one, but are you able to easily adjust what's stocked or what's in the machines depending on the area?
Yeah, absolutely. So like in the airports, we have the travel size essentials and hygiene products and that sort of thing. But when you think about campuses, you think about maybe laundry detergent or hair care products, or we said even contraception. We said, just cough syrup, just things that they may not have readily available on campus, especially in campuses where there may be in more rural areas where they're not a CVS down the street or across the street or something like that.
And it's available almost 24/7 or probably 24/7, which is helpful.
Yeah, that's the great thing about automated retail. It's the 24/7, business 365 days a year. It really doesn't shut down.
That's awesome.
So I'd like to learn a little bit more about that, that bonus, that display screen that you have. How does that work? What is it? Just like still shots? Do you guys do video and audio? Like, what's the whole advertising aspect of it?
When you think about the machine itself, the bottom third of the machine is you can see digitally the product. So you never see the physical products on the shelf like you would in a standard vending machine. It's set up to be like a touch screen. So like you would see on your iPhone or your Android phone, you swipe left or right to see the products.
Okay.
And then at the top of the machine, there's the digital advertising space. So within that space is what you would imagine when you see a digital billboard on the highway, but kind of bit to the next level because you can run a commercial. So it's color, is sound, is music, is whatever you want it to be. So you can run a still ad if you would like, but you see the most benefit if you have more of a commercial base or conversation or music playing with your ad.
Okay, kind of like those screens you see at the gas stations now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that concept. Yeah, you have a captive audience right there. Yes. You have their attention, while they're products getting invented and everything, and share a message with them.
That's the thing. When you're waiting for your plane, right? Now you have idle time, so you're up, you're buying products, so you're looking for things. So it's really a good fit for airport environments.
Nice.
And that was one of their suggestions with my ad, was to add a bit of both. So I have the video, but I also have some stills before it that kind of explain about the company and what we offer and stuff. Okay. It's awesome. I love it because it's the podcast. I've got a little bit of the podcast up there so you can hear a little voice and talking, see my face and that type of stuff. So.
That's cool.
So what type of ads seem to get, you kind of mentioned that, but what type of ads seem to get the most attention, and about how long are usual ads, like lengthwise?
Well, ads are typically between like a typical commercial between like a 15-second or 30-second commercial type spot.
Okay.
And doing the research now, we've learned in the airport space that airport travelers are typically more affluent, have a higher discretionary income. So luxury items or luxury brands advertisements do really well in airport spaces. Also entertainment and music do well in entertainment spaces. But there also are a lot of business travelers in the airport space as well. So that B2B commercial ad is something that would do well in airport space also.
Do you think it's kind of a combination of both the still and a video?
Absolutely. Kind of it's a combination of the both, yeah. So the video and the sound, definitely grabs people's attention. But, you want to have that still, like to get your message out. And even in that still piece, you can have a QR code that directs them to your website or a coupon or items like that.
Yeah. That's one of the things I did, was a QR code to the website so they can just quickly scan it and get there. Yep, awesome.
So how do people contact you if they want either to place a retail machine at one of their locations, whether it's a hotel or a university or airport, or if they're interested in advertising? What's the best way to reach you?
So you can get a lot of information from our website at www.definingenterprises.com. I can be reached at area code 234. What's my phone number? 234-208-6555, or then information at our email at info@definingenterprises.com.
Awesome.
So whenever someone decides they want to do an advertisement on one of the machines, do they just provide you with a certain type of file, or do you guys help with design, or do you have a partner that helps with design if they need it?
So I don't do any graphic production of a video if you want to run like a commercial type ad. The file that needs to be provided is the MP4 file, but I have had my sister actually, who works with me behind the scenes, has done some putting together slides and adding music to it. If someone has a still ad that they wanted to run, that we have assistance in helping them get that up and running.
Wonderful.
How do you guys charge for the advertising space? Do you guys base it on projected traffic? or do you guys just have like a monthly fee, or what's the options for someone looking to advertise on your machine?
So we have some standard advertising packages. We have our monthly package, which is $350 per month. And then if you do a 3-month package, it's $900. So you get $150 savings doing a 3-month package. And then there's a 6-month package and a yearly package as well. And what we found, we kind of based our rates is in between what you would see as a standard billboard pricing, which can be really kind of costly. And then if you look at like social media ads and that sort of thing, is kind of more competitive with that type of rate if you did a monthly campaign on a social media platform. But when you look at kind of like the advertising rates in general for advertising in the airport and the still space is on average about $800 a month for a 4-week campaign. So $350 a month is really a great value to advertise in the airport, in the airport space. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of talked about this with some of the industries, but what industries seem to work best? I know you talked about luxury goods and music and that type of thing. Are there some other areas that seem to work real well?
Well, here in the Akron-Canton area, we're doing a lot of the travelers, so destination locations. So whether it's the Hall of Fame or just like visit Canton or visit Akron, so destinations. And then when you think about people coming in and staying in hotels and just the restaurants and things that are there, Canton is so full of a lot of activity and things to do. So
that's a great idea because people probably are looking for things to do or go to dinner that night or something for that night to go out to or whatever. Yeah, that's wonderful.
So are there any industry tips? Any industry tips you can share with us?
I would say as an industry tip, whether you're in the vending industry and standard machines or in this automated retail space, really what I learned first was you need to seek out and secure your location first. Once you have your location, then you would secure your machines to place in the location. Once you know what the location is looking for and that sort of thing, then you can marry up the machines with that location. It's hard to first have your machines. First of all, there's not something you can just really readily store easily in your garage or something like that, right? So you want to make sure that you have somewhere for your machines to go once you have secured your location.
And you really make them unique for the space they're going into, I'm sure. Definitely the products it carries and kind of the look of it in general, probably even.
Absolutely. So and another thing that now that I'm in this space and we've been at the airport for almost a year and a half now, people have been reaching out like, how can I get my own type of machine? So whether I had a lady who does cupcakes who was interested in having a cupcake machine. It's interesting to see people with their ideas and they're reaching out for suggestions or help.
Yeah, awesome.
So I always like to do shout outs to within the chamber. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yes, I first want to shout out Sean.
Oh, thank you.
SBS Consulting Systems for having an advertisement there on the airport. I hope that you're enjoying it and that you'll see some business from that. And, just being another Canton Chamber member, I appreciate that. And
yeah, definitely. And thanks for the opportunity. I'm excited to see how it goes. And I already saw the video that you put up and we shared it around, but it's cool to see your own stuff up on there.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's such a different advertising avenue, right? So
for sure.
Just getting the word out, let people know that they can advertise in that space.
Right. Excellent.
Oh, and I also want to shout out Molly from the chamber. She's been instrumental in just welcoming me into the chamber, all the tip clubs and activities and that sort of thing. She's been great as well.
Nice.
She's great getting people connected.
She is.
So thanks for joining us today. I love hearing your story. I'm glad you come on, and I'm sure we'll see Sean's advertisement when I run over to the
Absolutely.
airport here a little bit.
Oh, and one other shout out. Just want to give a shout out to my personal team that helps me behind the scenes, my sister Leah and my fiance Lamar. So they do a great job in helping and support me behind the scenes.
Nice.
Awesome.
And thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
For
Absolutely.
Sure. Thanks for coming.
Up next, we have our business tip of the week by SPS Consulting Systems.
Hi, everyone. Sean Hetrick, SBS Consulting Systems. This week's tip of the week, actually the next couple, we're probably going to do liquidity ratios. I'm just going to go over a different ratio each week and kind of explain it because liquidity ratios are pretty good for your business to really understand kind of where you're at what you can do going forward, really kind of structure the business as you go ahead. The first one we're going to talk about is the current ratio. And I like this one because this is the current ratio, or some call it the working capital ratio. This is current assets minus current liabilities. And this will give you, like I said, your working capital ratio or your current ratio. Really lets you know where you stand with your how it works is the current assets are anything that is easily convertible into cash. So we're talking about cash, accounts receivable, inventory, and then current liabilities are your accounts payable, short-term liabilities. So it really shows you in the short term where you kind of stand from a liquidity area, and then that you can use that ratio. And it's different depending on the industry that you're at, but you can use that ratio to then determine what your next strategies are. So next week I'll go over another ratio and we'll just kind of go from there. All right. Sean Hetrick, SBS Consulting Systems.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate the tip. Next, we're going to go over some chamber events, chamber announcements. Really what we got going on is visit the cantonchamber.org. So that's where you're going to see what upcoming events, weekly events, monthly events, yearly events. We got a lot of stuff going on, so I can't list it all on the podcast.
They've also got a brand new website, so check it out. It's real easy to access the calendar of events and everything.
It's laid out very nicely. So they have business after hours, the Quick Connect, tip clubs, and then some of the yearly events coming up. So like we have Oktoberfest. They're joining, they're jumping in that this year, and then we have fall networking events. So
and Vintage Canton is coming up also downtown.
So cantonchamber.org, check out the dates and get connected. I'd love to see you there. And that's a wrap for our show.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.